Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple Bypass, where it is going to be a nice little comfortable Thursday night run here. It's the season finale of the Xfinity series here. It's the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 150, sponsored by Will Jester here at Dover International Speedway. Of course, my name is Bradley Dalton, and I am going to be joined by a Mr. Kenton. It is not James Parfit. James Parfit has found himself away on business, and when the boss is away, the boys will play. Kenton, good evening, sir. How are you feeling and doing today?
Doing great. Very excited for a fantastic trip around Dover. Who doesn't love a nice short track? The Monster Mile, a good time. Albeit a little dangerous sometimes, but always a good fun time.
You know, we were talking pre-broadcast, and we were talking about, how this track is very similar to Bristol in some regards. And, of course, it's mainly the banking that we look at. We'll look here. This is the camera with 1 and 2. I'll go ahead and clear off this background here. Look at the angle right here of turns 1 and 2. Anything happens, this Monster Mile kicks you straight down the hill. It's pretty scary, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's quite aggressive. I mean, it's 24 degrees in 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then the straights are still 9. You never get like that flat kind of, I guess, straight that you're used to on most speedways. Are typically a lot of those D ovals and things like that. You're starting to get down into the 3s, 4s, 5 maybe, but it being 24 right into 9, it's just you never really get a break. And yeah, anything goes wrong, corner, straight, doesn't matter. You're going right to that inside wall, and anyone who's down below you, not going to have a fun time hanging out with you, right? Getting everything all fixed and repaired in the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a challenge for the drivers all the way through. And, of course, remember, this is week 14, so let's go ahead and pull up the scores here, and let's talk about this, because Sean Bradley has the championship wrapped up. 3 wins, 11 top 5s, 12 top 10s, and 11 races. 2 drop weeks applied, of course. across the season. So Sean Bradley, by all accounts, is done with this season. This is just going to be a victory run for him to see what he can do with things as it goes. Ben Harkham, Al Corey, they got a 9-point separation going into this final round. And then Keith Hanlon, Jason Benson, and Mr. JC John Campbell, Krispy Kreme himself. Got a good little battle going for P4 overall. So we'll see where they can go. And of course, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells, do all the fun things to support JP Broadcasting. We've got double duty here on a Thursday night. You've got us, me and Kenton here live, going with Triple Bypass. And then, of course, Nars is live. I believe that is Mr. Biggles going around with the boss man himself, James Parfit. But that is going to be where we land things here. Now let's get this qualifying underway. And this is where I think things are going to get very, very fun, as we like to see some drivers go out on track. And it does look like the first driver that is going to brave his way through is going to be Tyler Rulialis. So we'll see what Tyler there in the 160 can pull off.
Yeah, it's fairly quick, which is always nice. I love that this track, it is very fast. You do have obviously your little bit of lift and maybe dab the brake once the tires start going, but it's going to be quick laps. I believe we're looking kind of around that under 30, which is always good. I like when they're under 30. It means the track goes real quick, and these guys, with how clean they are, they always make it very fast. So, but yeah, fantastic. Like, that banking is just so drastic in those corners. It's insane. And if you get a little too much throttle coming out of them, you're going bye-bye.
Yeah, I wanted to do this onboard shot because I wanted to see just how bad it is. You can see here, we're riding on board with Tyler Rulialis with a little bump on the wall. I mean, anything is possible. It can be rough for anyone here as we go. So, and of course, we got to be sure to take a second and thank our race sponsor of today. It is Will Jester. And where is Will Jester? He's currently sitting up there in P4. He is, again, our race sponsor for this season finale. So a big thank you goes to him. That is the wrong banner that I had pulled up. So let's not show you that one because that's the wrong one. But we'll ride on board here with Will Jester for a moment as he gets going. Drivers continuing to throw in some time. Sean Bradley, of course, our champion, who's got things going and keeping things going. So we'll see where things go for him and how things go through.
Looks like we're going to still have that continued battle. Harkham finishing so far through qualifying 1/100th of a second ahead of Al Corey. So that battle is not going anywhere quickly. It does look like we're still waiting for our group battling for P4 here. I believe Campbell has already set his lap as he is currently in P11. And then Jason Benson is just ahead of him in P10. I think the only one of that group that hasn't put in a time so far is Keith Hanlon. So we'll see where he ends up putting himself. But a couple of duels coming very quickly together right off the start.
Yeah, things are continuing to move through. We'll see how things land all the way through. I really enjoy this league. I hate that this is the season finale because I know me and you have talked about it. I enjoy everything with Triple Bypass that they have to offer. It's a very good group of guys. It's a very good run. And, you know, of course, Season 5 to be announced soon, TM. They've got some off-season stuff going on, as they always do. So, like, tomorrow night, I'm running with GTPs and GT3s on Daytona road courses because why not? I feel like embarrassing myself. I'm a commentator, and every once in a while, you know, I want to drive and see how bad I can embarrass myself. We'll see how that goes. We'll pick up here with Keith Hanlon, who is coming down and trying to run around. We'll see where he lands things because he is just now putting his first lap in. It looks like everybody but Naj Crutchley, Justin Bentley, and Ward Fisher have put in times here. 22 cars. It's a pretty good grid, honestly. Pretty packed grid.
Especially for Dover. There's not a ton of space. It does have at least fairly wide corners. I just dealt with a fun time casting over at Texas, and I believe right before that we were actually at Bristol, where there's no space really on either of those. So you're pretty out of luck if anyone makes contact or goes a little sideways because there's nowhere to go. At least here they have some width. Obviously, you want to try and avoid as many of those marbles that you can kind of see on the top there as you can, but there's definitely at least some play little maneuverability. You can try and avoid. It's probably not going to go well, but you can try. You can try at least.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the key for everyone. It's going to be about, can they hold things together? Can they just keep consistent? And, you know, this is a very clean league. This is a league that does very well at keeping stuff moving and keeping it together. So I'm not worried in that regard about how these guys do. With that, I think they're going to be just fine. I think really at this point, it is just a case of everyone being, you know, just keeping the final race jitters out of the way, which isn't really something that these guys ever have an issue with. We're just waiting on qualifying to finish itself out here. Of course, it is lone qualifying. Times just went through. We will wait on the grid to come up, and then we'll take you up the race order as everyone grids in. But it is the Canadian and the championship leader, Sean Bradley, who is going to have his way up on the lead here. And then from there, let's go ahead and bring up the grid. Let's show you what you're looking at. So Sean Bradley up in the lead, Tyler Merritt in P2, a 1/10 of a second down. Keith Hamlin in third, Ben Harcum in fourth, Al Corey, Mark Herzog, Cameron Kane, John Creedler, Will Jester, and Anthony Speranza in P10. From there, you got Grant Parker, Jason Benson, the Krispy Kreme, JC John Campbell. You got Tex Nichols, Jaden Henry, Tyler Rulli Ellis, Michael Seymour, Patrick Swishhelm, which is not a driver that I've seen before, to be honest with you. And then from there, we round out with Matt Harmon, Justin Bentley, Ward Fisher, and then Mr. Naj Crutchley, who runs my favorite number in any sort of race series. I will let you guess why that is my favorite number, but we are at Dover, a track where really the number 48 should do well. We'll see how things go, though.
Interesting. 48. I don't know enough about NASCAR for that, but I assume there's a story.
It's just 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson
there you go.
is the reason for the season. A driver that did very well at Dover, so I'm going to kind of hold my breath for Mr. Naj Crutchley and see how he can do. I think he'll be fine, but of course, you know, you never know until things get going. You truly never know. And again, big shout out to our race sponsor here, Mr. Will Jester in the number 74, one of the co-founders here of Triple Bypass, and giving us our wonderful race today here, the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 150, as we get things rolling here and get ready to go. And how many cautions are we thinking? What's your over-under on cautions? I have to ask.
Ooh, I'm going to go with under 4. It is Dover. Normally with these guys, if we were talking like speedways or super speedways, I'd be talking like 1 or 2. Dover's a little sketchier. Just you get a little gun shit or a little excited coming out of a corner. You might get a little too much throttle and kind of spin and cause one, but I don't think there'll be too many. I think under 4.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. Barney has the flag. The drivers come around turn 4. They'll go for the Geico restart zone. Sean Bradley, the championship leader, and the champion will have his way through, and it's green, green, green. We're underway here for 150 laps around Dover, and the drivers get away fairly well. Let's see how things go, because it is Sean Bradley to the inside, Tyler Merritt to the outside, and as they keep going through, Ben Harcum in third. Keith Hamlin's already dropped off a little bit, but as they exit turn 2, go under the bridge, it is going to be still Tyler Merritt up front. I think he's gotten past Sean Bradley, trying to clear him. Sean Bradley's trying to go lower, though. And as we come around through onto the end of the first lap, it is Tyler Merritt who has found his way into the lead.
Yeah, that was fantastic. He almost came down a little early, but he was able to keep it all kosher between everybody. And Hanlon looked like he backed off a little bit. I think for him, his main goal is going to be just kind of keeping everybody behind him. That's all he's got to do. Keep the group that's chasing him of Jason Benton and John Campbell there. He's just got to keep those guys behind him, and he'll take his position pretty solidly. Obviously, you want to go for a win, because why not? But he's at least in a good spot to not have to worry too much about anyone coming points-wise. Al Corey, unfortunately, has dropped behind him and a little further back of Harcum. That is our other big, really close duel that we have going on, but a little bit of space between those two right now.
Yeah, kind of just keeping our eyes, because the front 3 are peeling away here very quickly. I saw a little bit of a wall tap there from Keith Hamlin. Al Corey right here in the mix, trying to chase down Cameron Kane. As we go on lap 4 of 150, these laps tick down very quick, which is kind of surprising considering when this track is a mile long, things move quick. Let's jump back here a little bit here with Will Jester. He is trying to chase down the likes of Mr. Jason Benson in the Ghost livery car. A good artist, good band, so good to see him there. He's going up the inside line. Can he make this stick? We'll see if he can as they go around, and he does. So Mr. Jason Benson has to reserve the place because Will Jester's able to get ahead of him there.
Yeah, it was a fantastic move, and the big thing with this track that I find is you're going to make your moves going into the corners. A lot of speedways, it's kind of, you make your big move coming out, you want to get that really good exit, and that's when you're going to make your pass. Because of how short these straightaways are, you're going to kind of try and make your moves going into those corners. Obviously, you want to be smart about it. Dive bombing doesn't end well, but you want to make your moves and kind of have that geared up through the straightaway, and then actually make your move once you get to that corner.
Speranza in YouTube chat says, go Speranza. Is that not Anthony Speranza currently running P20? What's he doing in YouTube and driving? Interesting to see. Look at this move here from Will Jester, getting a run down the inside. He's continuing to try to make moves here against Creedler up the inside, the Xbox Series livery. And he had it, and then he has to slot back in. He wasn't able to make it stick off the corner, but he was side by side at one point, so he's keeping things moving. Up front, Tyler Merritt ran away with it. He's currently 1.23, and caution flag is out. Let's see if we can find what happened here. Oh,
Ooh.
Well, that gives me an indication of something. I don't usually like to do this. I know James doesn't like this at all, but I'm not getting a good trigger for what happened. So that is Tyler Ruelas, who is the 43 behind him there. So he was loose, and then the 43...
I think that's Parker.
Yeah, so Grant Parker bumps into him there. And then from there, it was just Tyler Ruelas taking 28 there, the 48 of Naj, JC's in the mix. Yeah, that was a rough one there, but yeah, he was loose on his own, and then he just kind of came up and got a little bit of help there, honestly.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the dangers. I mean, it was coming out of the corner, it gets a little squirrely, and once you more or less lose that, as he's coming to almost a dead stop here. Once you kind of lose that, I think, he's popping back. He's not going to quite make it. Once you kind of lose that grip, you're more or less along for the ride, and it looked like he tried to overcorrect a little bit to try and stay out of trouble, and that's just sent him straight up. Once you make kind of contact with those walls, it can be not the most fun ride.
Absolutely. I've got a big trigger that a bunch of people crashed, and it looks like it is all tied back to that 160 checking up. So we'll see here exactly how that happened with that. So yeah, looks like just everybody had to check up there. You can see just the whole field bunches up because, of course, iRacing, not like it when you do that. Let's see here if we could grab our race sponsor today, Will Jester. Hey, Will, it's Brad and Kenton in the booth. How you copy? Oh, I can't hear you, Will. I've got no audio coming in from Will, so...
How about now?
There we go. Will, good evening, friend. How's it feel to sponsor a race?
It feels great. It's great to sponsor a league that helped create with a great core of racing friends. So it's great to kind of give back and provide to the community by both broadcasting or sponsoring the race and then having you stream it.
Yeah, kind of talk to me about how your first 10 laps have gone down. We saw that incident there with Tyler Ruelas and a few other people kind of get involved there. How are things working for you here, and what's your plan long-term for 150 laps?
Just trying to be there at the end, save the tires, and just kind of ride it out.
I think that's a good plan. Anyone you want to thank or shout out before I drop you back into the lounge?
Not off the top of my head right now. Maybe a little bit later.
Awesome. Well, Will, good luck, man. I'm going to drop you back in the lounge. It looks like you're getting ready to get back underway.
All right, thank you.
I love seeing guys that invest in their league, and the league invests back in them here. We'll see how things get going here as we jump up. You can see the pace car lights are off. Restarts are going to be important here, I believe, and we'll see how things land.
I'm hoping, yeah, if you get a good jump, definitely gives you a good spot to be able to kind of get up and get a little higher, save those tires a bit.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here because pace car is in, and Mr. Tyler Merritt has the run on Sean Bradley this time and gets to say when we go. Inside line didn't seem to work at the start, but there we go. Tyler Merritt's able to get the jump and get the runaway there. Sean Bradley has to slot into P2 unless Ben Harkham has something to say about it. Trying to go up the inside there and run through. Further back of the field, no big dramas coming around. And Ben Harkham on the inside, Sean Bradley on the outside. And it looks like for our championship leader and champion, unofficially, he is just trying to cruise along and have a good night tonight. There it is. He is going to be in P3. He's trying to fight it back there as we go across the line. And as we get into 1, you can see there is not enough of a gap for him there. So he does have to slot into 3rd place.
Yeah, I mean, great kind of runner from Harkham there, able to hold on to that inside line and really able to the in and out car getting a little close to our ghost car there, but still moving forward, which is always good. But yeah, got a little touch and go for a second, but he was able to kind of keep it all straight. And then yeah, Harkham, just a smart move, get underneath, hold that line, keep it going forward, and you should be able to get ahead. Will burn out of tires a little bit, and we kind of heard from a reputable source, you're looking 20-ish laps before they start getting a little squirrely. So we're going to start seeing some people hopefully able to control that, but we might see the odd slide here or there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, 20 laps is not that long of a time, honestly. That's the thing that shocked me. For 150 laps with only 4 sets of tires, 20 laps is not a long time for your tires to go, because they said the drop-off after about 20-25 laps is over a second, and we're looking at about 70 laps on fuel, I believe, if I remember right. I'm going to double-check myself. 75 laps, roughly. So, kind of a weird setup, and it's going to put some people in some tough situations as this race goes on.
Oh, 100%. Especially, I think a combination of that and your fuel's expected 75 laps, you're probably going to want to come in a little closer or a little earlier than that. Obviously, it'll allow you to maybe swap tires. If you're going to try and use all 3, you're probably looking, I'd say, as far as you can on the first stint, maybe a short second stint, and then hoping for a longer or a to the end last stint without having to worry too much. But it does look like we have our second caution.
I tell you what, if these cautions keep coming out, these guys are going to be having a interesting time. Let's see if we can pick up on what happened here. It looks like this is Mr. Patrick Swishhelm. Like I said, a newer driver that I haven't heard of in the 714 here, the mellow yellow car. See if we can pick up exactly what happened. It looks like he comes up the back straight, and does he lose it on his own? He does there. See if we can't. Yeah, that's a hard lick to the inside. So, and you can see he slides there, and that banking, we talked about it. You slide up on that banking, the car just rolls off. Nothing you can do.
Yeah, it looks like that's a nasty spill, and it's one of those things coming off those corners. If you're either on the throttle a little early or not quite at a good angle for it, it can send you around very quickly. It's kind of deceiving. There's, I don't want to say like a bump, but just that drop in angle can kind of throw the car, get it a little unsettled, especially if you're too much throttle at that point and not straight enough on the wheel. If those tires are a little turned and then you hit that bump, it's probably not going to go very fun, as it'll unsettle the car and kind of send it around. It does look like Harkham is coming into the pits here. I don't think he was involved in anything, but might be snagging some new tires and a little bit of splash and dash of fuel and go for the short stint now and hope later on he doesn't need to.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Harkham's in. JC John Campbell's in. Of course, to nobody's surprise, Patrick Swishhelm is in. And if we just take a look at his car, you can see why he's in. Nobody's surprised there. But yeah, Ben Harkham is now coming out of the pits. So we'll see what happens for him here. We see he's coming back out, getting things going. There is going to be Mr. Naj Crutchley coming around and getting things going. We're waiting on the grid to line back up. Everybody get going. And again, up front, it's Tyler Merritt ahead of Sean Bradley. So Sean Bradley, even though he started up on pole, hasn't been able to really capitalize on the race starts.
Yeah, Merritt's gotten a couple of good jumps. The first one, obviously, getting to the inside of of Bradley there, and which isn't the easiest of things to do because you kind of have to allow him to go by so you can get underneath and kind of cross back over on him. And then the second restart there of that first caution, he just took off and didn't look like Bradley really was able to realize when he was going, and he Merritt played that right into his own wheelhouse and kind of just took off, created this space, and allowed him to do what he wanted to do on the drive.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to continue to do that because the big thing with it is the more that we have these race restarts, and again, this is atypical for triple bypass. I'm not used to seeing 2 cautions in 20 laps. It's out of character for them, but Dover's a hard track, so I give them the ride off, I give them the one off. It happens every once in a while here, so. But the more that they have cautions and restarts, the more that Bradley can dial it in there on Merritt and try to get things going. We'll really see if that happens. That's one of those things that it's easier said than done. But of course, Sean Bradley hasn't, been the championship leader for the sake of just being a leader. We'll see, what he can pull together and pull through. Pace car's coming around. I think it should be 1 to go this time by. We'll see. We'll see how things play out.
Yeah, and like you said, the more restarts you get, the easier it is to kind of dial it in. But then it kind of becomes a cat and mouse game. You've got Merritt going to be trying to adjust when he goes to try and throw off Bradley, and Bradley trying to catch on to when he actually is planning to go. It makes it for very interesting, at the very least, for those restarts.
Yeah, it really does. And you can see everybody going in double file. So this is the 1 to go sign. And I'm trying to see who the big winners and losers are. And honestly, right now, Jason Benson is the one that's catching my eye there in the 42 because he is up 4 places on his race start. Jaden Henry and Michael Seymour are also up quite a few places. Big loser is Ben Harkham down 13, so we'll see what they can do. And then, of course, you got Cameron Kane in the 037 there. Is that a watermelon livery? What is that he has?
The 037. I think that's a Croc, like the shoe.
Surely he did not.
Yep.
Okay, you know what? That's abysmal, and I love it. If you're gonna run a Croc livery, I mean, I guess just send it. Okay, you know what? I'll give it to him. We're getting ready to get back underway. A Croc livery, really? Man. Green flag out, we're underway, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing. But we're back underway here, and Kane does slot back into 3rd, and then it is going to be Merritt and Bradley. P1, P2 there. You can see back in the back, that is Keith Hamlin trying to fight up the inside of Al Corey, the misplaced Canadian, and keep things moving around. He can't, but Mark Herzog in the 57 is running that Supra, and is that a Supra? Because he's trying to go through, and now another yellow flag is out. Do we know what happened?
Oh, I was thinking, I don't think it was those, but yeah, look a little further back there. It looks like that's Park involved once again, Grant Park. I think that's the second one he's unfortunately been included on.
Yeah, Ward Fisher there.
Yeah, it looked like Ward Fisher kind of came up on him, unfortunately. There was just nowhere for Grant Park to go.
Yeah, we'll look at this from one more angle just to see if there's anything else we can see through now that we know who's involved. I'm having a weird time with the timing software not giving me who's involved. Look at Ben Harkham dive to the inside there, and then the 60 kind of gets caught up in that. He gets a little bit of a love tap there from the 160. That is Tyler Rudy Ellis. But cautions breed cautions. I will give them that.
Yes, they do. They doesn't make it very fun for a lot of the drivers because it kind of breaks any rhythm you can kind of get once you start having caution on caution. Then it just becomes pacing simulator, and that's no fun. But it does make it a little trickier to try and get sort of, like I said, that rhythm feel of the race and going from there. Does allow you to get into that pit stops a little easier. This is not the trickiest pit lane, but not the easiest either if you're under green. As obviously with these corners, you're going pretty low down, and if you're trying to pit, you kind of really got to get out of that way. Otherwise, you might be, unfortunately, force-fed a front fender.
Yeah, Razorholic, yellow flag 150, sponsored by Caution Incorporated. And again, this is very, very atypical of triple bypass. I'm not used to seeing them really have issues like this. So I don't think it's anything huge and, abysmal going on. It's just, everyone has their track that they have issues on, and every once in a while you find one that the league as a whole has a little bit of an issue on. So the fact that it's Dover and it's the season finale kind of, I'll give everyone the one-off.
I agree. Yeah, you kind of have to. Every team, every league's got that one. In reality, though, and we're only going to do it, or I'm going to do it strictly because he's not here. It's James's fault.
I told the drivers that before. I jumped in the chat because, of course, the drivers run practice before, and I jumped in and immediately told them and said, "Hey guys, have a good race. If anything happens with the broadcast y'all don't like, just make sure to tell James and blame James for it. Him not being here, it's on him, and I'm sure he's going to watch this broadcast back later, and I'm probably going to get a nasty little message about it. But yeah, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's something going on that you're not a fan of, blame James Parfit."
Yeah. I do it even when he is there with me.
Yeah, exactly, as you should.
He's the boss. Everything's his fault.
See, that is how that works. He's the boss. Everything's his fault. I don't know what else you can really say to it.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
I still can't get over the banking. Like, even just looking at these side cameras, like, the banking is a little ridiculous.
It is very drastic. It's it's a very, very difficult to kind of comprehend how aggressive that banking is when you really look at it. I mean, I think I can't remember where it was, but it was I actually did the math on how much of an angle it was from, like, okay, how high it is from the bottom to the top, with like what the height difference was. And it was something like almost 80. No, it's like 40 feet higher. Like, it's just such a long and such an angle on the corner that you were just so much higher. Like, it was ridiculous. And I was like, oh, this is insane. Or it might have been 30. I think 40 sounds a little aggressive. But it was like, this is ridiculous. And like, imagine trying to run up that. Like, I was watching a clip of someone trying to put the paint and the advertising on the wall, and they can't do more than one at a time because standing on that angle is just so hard. They have to come back down and then go back up.
I would believe it though, because the banking, especially aggressive banking like this, it can do a lot. I went to Daytona back in January for the Rolex 24, and of course, part of the Rolex 24, before the race, you get to get on track, and everybody brings Sharpies, and they sign the start-finish straight and all that fun stuff. So, and even the banking there on the tri-oval, I mean, it was a significant height difference. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was like 40, 50 feet as they go through. Single file restart is interesting to me. Green flag out. We're going to be underway running here. Lap 26 of 150. And Tyler Merritt does get the run here. Of course, no side-by-side as they go through. And then as they come around, it is going to be just like everybody just staying nice and gentle in a single file. That was Ben Harcum I saw trying to make a run up the inside. That is Matt Harmon, who is on the high line, kind of displaced there. Sorry, that is not Matt Harmon. That is Jaden Henry running the high line in the Klondike Bar livery, who is a little bit displaced here in the back of the field. There it is, Ben Harcum now making a move on Michael Seymour. That's where the big action is. We'll see how things run as Tyler Merritt and Sean Bradley staying, single file. Everybody's mostly single file up through the front. Little bit of a run here, it looks like, from, that is going to be Jason Benson trying to make a move here on John Creedler.
Yeah, I mean, Merritt, once again, yeah, he gets that huge jump. It looks like Bradley's actually fighting back, but as I say it, Bradley goes past him. They're fighting it out up there. He did have a little bit of a lead, but it looks like Bradley was able to kind of get underneath him there. And then you kind of, it looks like Kane, Corey, and Herzog kind of have their own little space. It's doing what they need to do as these two go side by side all the way through. It looked like almost a full lap there. And I did check it out. I found it. At peak elevation on this track at the corner, it is 23.5 feet high.
That, you say 23 and a half feet, and it doesn't feel like that much, but man, that's a lot.
It's 2.1 stories. That's a residential house. when you think about it, without a roof. Flat-roofed residential house, 2.1 stories high.
That is something. Let me tell you. I don't know how to feel about that. Sean Bradley, trying to bump and run. Tyler Merritt, count your days, friend, because Sean Bradley just tried to bump and run you.
Oh, bump and runs, they're fantastic. They had a lot of fun, if you will. But definitely can go very wrong very quickly.
Yeah, you gotta be
get it
careful.
right.
You gotta be really careful with them. Something that you don't see a lot in Xfinity and in, Cup cars, but you know what? Every once in a while, the driver's got to break it out. You got to remember your roots sometimes is, what I like to say, and keep things going there. Mark Herzog in the background, just a little bit of a love tap to the wall. So the wall in 1 and the wall in 3 are getting a bit of a workout, bit of a tap there. We'll see how dark the wall is by the end of this race. Keep it on lap 33 of 150 here. And Kenton, I tell you what, even though it's been 2 cautions, the guys are putting in lap times pretty consistently.
Yeah, they definitely have settled down after that second caution here, it looks like. And I don't mean they're not racing or anything, because we've obviously just watched Merritt and Bradley going side by side for a good chunk of almost 2 laps there. But they're kind of giving each other a little more space. Just a little bit more cautious when it comes to it. And the biggest thing I always say when it comes to oval racing is it really doesn't matter. You're not going to win on the first half of the race. It's all being smart on the lead lap and somewhat close. Ooh, as we see Kane getting a little squirrely coming out of, I believe that's coming out of 2 there. But all you got to do is, just be in the lead lap. You have a chance to make it to the final or into the top 3 very easily, because weird things happen in NASCAR. One crash could take out half the field, and if you get through, you're good to go.
Yeah, I came off a broadcast before this where the guy that finished P3 in a field of 14 cars started P12. At one point he was leading, and then he spun, dropped it back to P12, and then battled it out back into P3. So anything can happen in NASCAR. The whole point is put your head down, keep driving, never give up, never surrender. And as we can see from our misplaced Canadian Al Corey here up the inside of the Crocodinator, I'm going to have to come up with a good nickname for Cameron Kane. Cameron Kane, count your days, because I've got nicknames for you coming next season. Here we go, Al Corey up the inside. He gets past him. And now what can Mark Herzog do? Can Mark Herzog get up the inside? It looks like he's going to try. Ben Harkham tries to follow him along. They're just going to pin him to the high side and just try to run past him. And there it is. So Ben Harkham slots in. Cameron Kane still trying to get the pass.
Yeah, that looked a very drastic move by Harkham there, as he kind of went up and almost looked like he was blocking, but it couldn't have been because he was slotting between 2 cars. So he just went up very aggressively. I think he actually clipped the wall just a touch with that rear fender, because I think it was either himself or the ghost car, the 55. Although it looks like he might have touched it again there, and that would have been Hanlon in that. I don't even know what color that would technically be. It's like a gross yellow. I don't know what that would be. The ghost car there on the lean side, not the prettiest of colors, but as he's made a couple of taps to the wall coming off of 3, and coming off of 2 and 4 there.
Keith Hanlon's car is a shiny sort of mucus color. At least it's not a croc. Can we just appreciate that for a second as we get around some lap traffic there? I believe that is the mellow yellow car. And that is Patrick, who is just staying well out of the way. James Parfit would be proud of the blue. No!
Nope.
He gets sent around. No caution out yet. We'll see. Does the caution come out?
He's going to reset? Maybe?
Maybe. He's still there. There
it is. Okay. I was like, this isn't really a track you can kind of back up with a break in traffic. There's a lot of cars and not that long of a distance between them.
I'm very shocked that there was no caution thrown, because typically with iRacing, they look for 45-degree angles against opposing traffic. So, really, he was sitting perpendicular. So, but, you know what, iRacing? You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. I won't question it.
And big hit on the wall there out of the 42 of Benson. He kind of gave it a nice old door slapper as he came off the corner of, I believe that was 2? Yeah, it looks like that was 2 there. A little unfortunate, but I'll be very curious to kind of see what kind of wear and tear we're looking at on that rear quarter panel on most of these cars as we get closer to the end of this race. I feel like there's going to be very little paint, and if you're a sponsor on that side, you're going to want some a little cheaper discount for that at the end of this race.
Oh yeah, Ben Harkham dropping down the field very hard. Looks like he is disconnected actually, so he is gone from the race. Unfortunate to see that Ben Harkham's night is over.
Ooh, that's a big thing for Corey, though.
Yeah, actually, is Ben Harkham still? No, he has dropped, but Al Corey now up into P3 as you mentioned. So the dreaded curse of the internet strikes again.
Yeah, he needed a 9. He needed 10 points, so he would have had to finish either in first and 5 ahead, or basically has to finish 10 positions ahead of Harkham. So this is going to be a little bit of a good thing, unfortunate thing, but at least allows him to get that opportunity to be able to overtake and hop into P2 there, unless Harkham's able to get reconnected and get going.
I'm trying to keep my eyes on it to see if Harkham comes back. I don't think he's going to, but it hard to know, unfortunately. I've seen drivers blink for 10 to 15 seconds and then come back. I do want to jump on board here with Keith Hamlin as he tries to chase down Mark Herzog here for P4. You can see that Mark Herzog getting a little swirly, and if you look at the lap times, you know, the last laps were almost 2 seconds slower from Sean Bradley than his best time. Best time at 23.9, and the last was a 25.5. So we're really seeing things slow down as we're hitting lap 47 and 150. So the tire delta is a big deal around here.
Yeah, these tires are they're screaming for any form of being put out of their misery, it seems like right now. And like you said, yeah, about 2 seconds slower almost across the board. It looks like Al Corey, I think, is only about a second off right now, but his best time being about half a second slower than Bradley and Merritt. So not as drastic there, but still has backed off quite a bit, and that's kind of across the board. It's not many people are still running around that same sort of time frame. So I wouldn't be too surprised if you start seeing some people come in that haven't already. I know we've had a few people had popped into the pit lane, but we'll kind of see and keep an eye on who does what, and especially after that front group.
Yeah, we're checking out Will Jester here, who is currently in a back. Caution flag is out. See if we can figure out what this was for. Well, I see some damage on the rear there. Saw someone down low. There's Tyler Ruelas. Let's see if we can figure out what this yellow flag was about. So there's Tyler spinning, so it was something before that. And through the power of... Was this just a spin on his own?
Very much so. He is clips the wall, has a little bit of an oversteer, trying to keep it corrected, and once you do that, you're in big trouble.
So that is Tyler Ruelas spinning. Unfortunate to see too, but you know, they didn't call a caution for a car sitting stationary, but then they call a caution for that.
Yeah, very interesting. I think it might have been because of position. That car, by the time the car kind of got sort of done its spinning, it was right on the corner, right on the racing line. Whereas for, I believe that was Patrick Swiss Elm, while he was sideways, he was on the straightaway on the bottom, not anywhere close to the race line. So that could have been sort of the game plan, or the reasoning at least there. As yes, the mad dash for pit lane.
Yeah, pit lane is busy. Look at this all the way down. Pretty much everyone is in with the exception of JC, Tyler, and Ben Harkham, who are off the pit schedule here. So we'll see what happens. I see a lot of cars going up in the air, 4 tires, and John Bradley does make his way out. It does show Grant Parker currently leading through. We'll see if we can catch where Grant Parker is. Grant Parker, of course, pitting on lap 23, but everybody now in for lap 50, and it is going to be Grant Parker, that number 43, picking up the lead there. So we've got a Norfolk car, we've got a CSX car, I believe I saw. Lots of, you know, for lack of better phrasing, planes, trains, and automobiles tonight.
And then, yeah, that's perfect. Comes right into the whole theme of this evening. And as I believe Jester, I think he's a pilot, I heard. Will Jester there. So he's a pilot that enjoys his model trains. So hence the planes, trains, and automobiles, as he does iRacing also. So tying it all together for him. But some fantastic liveries, I'm not going to lie. Just wonderful. I'm a little bit biased towards the Molson Canadian, or the Canadian Tire of Al Corey, but that's being a Canadian. It's my go-to. We all love our Canadian Tire up here.
Oh yeah, the misplaced Canadian, as I call him, because of if you look at his hometown in the bottom left, Canada, now Dallas.
I mean, fair enough. There's worse places to be, so it's probably a lot warmer during the year than here. I mean, I remember I've had a few days of minus 40. Not my favorite days, that's for sure. I do like the Crocs. That's creative. I'll give them that.
See, Okay, if you're in YouTube chat right now, I need you to tell me exactly what I can call him. And also, I've got a message from Ryan Hyatt that says, JP told me to message you. Check out Grant Parker's rear bumper for a surprise. So we're gonna go on this chase together. So I don't like to do this usually, especially during a broadcast. We're one to go, so I'm going to make this quick. Okay, well, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good. I'm not going to lie, that one got me.
That's yeah, well, fair. It's good. I'll give that.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, but you know what? I like it. I'd like it more if he was first place on the field, so we'll see how he can do there. As we come back, Sean Bradley now has the lead there. Tyler Merritt in P2. Of course, this has been flip-flop most of the time, so we'll see what happens here. Sean Bradley's in the guide code restart zone. You hear the green call from the spotter, and we're back underway, and there it is. Sean Bradley defending very aggressively right off the bat and getting things going. Al Corey there in P3. Mark Herzog in fourth place, trying to fight things through, and we'll see how this lands itself. As we can see there, the leaders are side by side. Here it is, Tyler Merritt trying to go up the inside of Sean Bradley.
Yeah, trying to bust out the same move he did on the race start. Get on the inside, kind of push him, keep him high, force him to take that wide line and try and just take advantage of the quicker inside line on that fresh rubber at least. So he should have a little bit of an easier time trying to maintain that grip. Obviously, the 20 laps being the end of the expected grip on those tires, and we were hitting lap 53, I believe we were at when we got the yellow when everyone came rushing in. So some new rubber for these guys. Hopefully they'll be able to have a little more tight racing right beside each other without having to worry about if the other guy's going to lose any.
Yeah, Tyler Ruelas saying in chat, 10-minute repair. His race is done. So out of the 22 cars we started with, we are currently running with 18 cars. And at the moment, it is Tyler Merritt in the lead, trying to keep Sean Bradley at bay. You've got Mr. Al Corey in third, Herzog in fourth, Kane in fifth, and then Cradler. We haven't talked about him a lot, but he's currently in P6, trying to have a run here onto P5. And you can see a little bit of a gap there. He's having to defend from Hanlon as much as possible. Further back in the field, there is a good bit of action happening, you know, even though the field's starting to get spread out, because Seymour's there, Ward Fisher's there, Matt Harmon is in the mix. So you've got some good battles back in the back. Look behind them, Mr. John Denaj Crutchley up the inside there of Mr. Anthony Sparazza and getting his way up into P13.
Yeah, and I believe that John Crutchley, Matt Harmon, and Ward Fisher are all up, almost getting close to that double digits up on the day. Ward Fisher up 9, Harmon up 7, and Crutchley up 8 so far. So both some pretty big movers out of that group right there as they battle their way towards the front of the pack. And like we said, you don't need to be at the front at the beginning of the race to win. And it does sound like Ben Harcum won't be coming back, as he just posted, I lost power. So that's not how you want the day to go.
Man, Ben, I am sorry. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, be sure to let me know in the chat. I know Biggles made a comment about not a lot of game audio, so I've cranked it up on my side. We'll see if that helps a little bit and if that makes it a little bit better for you all. Of course, because this is why we do it. We do it for the viewers, so we want to make sure that you all can hear everything and enjoy those nice car sounds just like I can hear. Let's ride on board real quick with Mark Herzog. Let's see what he's seeing here and how he's doing about trying to chase down Al Corey. Kenton, when you ride on board, especially with this gyro camera, it really shows just how aggressive the banking is, but it also shows just, you watch the steering wheel in the bottom left. Look at how much the drivers have to work that steering wheel.
Yeah, you really have to do it or move that wheel a lot, and this is with new tires, so you're getting the most amount of grip right now. The longer these go on, you'll start seeing that, so that little orange strip you can kind of see on the top of the steering wheel there. That's actually for the drivers to know where the top of the steering wheel is while they're racing, because you don't want to be, oh no, have I turned 1 or 2? So it helps things out just a little bit, because you can kind of know where the center line sort of is. Right now, it's not going too far. I'd say probably about 15% to the left. As those tires start wearing too, it's going to start just getting more and more as they're trying to keep the car from getting too loose. And you really got to fight it, because once 55 there, handling getting a little adventurous as he makes a pretty interesting dive down to the apron and almost goes too far down on the apron. But yeah, once you start kind of sliding and losing the grip there, you really got to wrestle it more to try and keep it. But it also, doing so, burns more tires. So you're kind of stuck in a catch-22. Either you lose your ability to turn quickly or quickly. There's really no safe way to do it. It all comes down to throttle inputs at that point and trying to save it that way.
Yeah, it's a very twofold game that you get into, where it's really between the wheel, the pedals. James loves to talk about his NASCAR experience. And one of the things that, he's talked to me about, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, is string theory. And if you don't know
yes.
And for those of you watching at home who may not know what string theory is and you haven't heard of it before, let's jump on a cockpit view real quick here after we watch Mr. Keith Hanlon try to get around John Creedler here in the Xbox livery. We'll see if he can pull this off real quick before we jump on, because he's been putting pressure lap after lap. I mean, he's been very consistent. He's moving through. I mean, he's really, really trying to push it.
Yeah, he's really trying to make that move, and it seems he's either right on the back of him, or he seems to kind of back off, and I think that's a little bit of a tire saving aspect and getting a better run out of one of the corners before really trying to get back up on the rear bumper and trying to kind of push that way. It's an interesting tactic, but yeah, for coming out of 1 and 2, he seems to go high and then drop real low and try and get as much of a straight line, kind of almost like a triangle instead of rounding the corner. Go up really high and then cut straight back down it towards the outside wall, and kind of utilize that to try and get as much speed as you can on the straightaway to try and make the pass going into the next corner. Because if you can kind of get your nose on the inside, as we see the lap traffic trying to get out of the way there, but if you can get your nose along the inside going into the corner, it makes it a lot harder for them to kind of get down and cut your nose off there.
Yeah, and it's really important to do. The thing is, you really do have to think about these ovals as kind of triangle points for your racing line. In a lot of road courses, we talk about racing line apex to apex. Well, here, you're really trying to run high to low to high through the corners. So you'll see the guys enter in, try to bump, as close to the apron as they can, and then run back up. And that is what they're doing consistently, and that is where you get a pass done like this. But you got Keith Hanlon going up the inside. He's taking away that run, and a little side-by-side action, a little bump there. from Keith Hamlin on the number 99 of John Creedler, and you can see he's trying to run down the inside. They keep things moving. He's not got the pass done, but back behind him, look at that, Jason Benson there in the 42 in another Ghost livery, the Ghost band, not the Ghost drink, trying to make a run there on Will Jester, not able to make that one happen there. We're lap 71 to 150. Most of these guys pit on lap 50, so I think tires really are starting to meet their maker.
Yeah, you can see them kind of trying to make these moves, and the hard thing about a lot of that, sort of that design of a move of going to the inside compared to the outside is you have to let off more to be able to get all the way down and make these corners, because they are fairly tight corners. Yes, it is a mile-long track, but that's the whole track. Your corners are not very long. You're looking, ooh.
Will Jester, you are one lucky duck, my friend. I don't know how you didn't bend the car there.
Yeah, it was impressive that he kept that going the same way.
Man, that was a moment is what that was. Anyways.
But yeah, sorry. It's like, what's
fine.
going on?
That was a moment.
But yeah, so as you have to stay lower going into the corner, you also have to bleed the speed a little bit more. You can't get on the throttle as quickly because you have to make that corner so much tighter, and you can't go back out to the wall, so you can't really carry a ton of speed through the corner and then on exit. So it does make it a little trickier. And whereas on the outside, yes, you have to let off a little bit, but you can get on the throttle a little earlier. You don't have to take off as much speed, although you do want to carry some more speed than that going into the corner. But as it looks like he almost took the 28's nose off of the Harmon there, but was able to get ahead of him cleanly. But yeah, if you start getting down and then not having the space to get back out, you kind of run that risk of overspeeding the car as you try and exit.
Yeah, it's very much a delicate balance that the drivers have to play all the way through here, kind of checking things as it sits. Cameron Kane, look at that with John Creedler right on the rear bumper as they work around some lap traffic. That is the 43 of Grant Parker, and now look at this. That is the 99 John Creedler trying to peek up the inside. You can hear the little bit of the lift there that our Crocinator has to do to try to not run into the wall as it goes. He's still keeping things nice and relaxed. John Creedler not able to pass done yet, but Cameron Kane pinned to the high line here, and I don't think that's where he wants to be. And now look at this, as you have Keith Hamlin getting in the mix too, side by side as they come around here into 3, and it is around the high line that Keith Hamlin is able to get past John Creedler. And is he going to clear him is the question. Oh, he's got him all day as they go down. And a little bit of a wall tap, though, from the 55. I tell you what, the right side of these cars are going to be absolutely gone by the time this race is over. We're just over the halfway point. So a little bit more time to go, and here we go. We'll see what he can do here. Not a lot of action up front, but the action here for the mid-pack is big.
Yeah, it looks like he's diving down the inside there, and it looks like he's going to actually make this pass pretty easily. Not a ton of fight out of Kane there as Hamlin just kind of goes, and Kane, I think, kind of realizes, my tires are cooked. I'm not going to be able to really fight super well here, and kind of allows them to have it. Now he's going to put a little bit more of a battle up in front of Kreidler there. But Hamlin making some moves, doing what he needs to do. Does have a little bit of a gap from him to Herzog, but very much ahead of Jason Benson as well as John Campbell right now. So does have some space to kind of work around.
Yeah, Will Jester dropping a little bit more here as Matt Harmon is trying to go up the inside. They're side by side here. Maybe a little bit of contact down the backstretch. Hard to tell from that angle, but then here we go, because it is Matt Harmon going through ahead of Will Jester, and that is going to be for P10 overall, but you can see that the 74 getting right back in the mix, right on the rear bumper. He's trying to look for something, just wasn't able to find it and make the pass happen. Let's check in up front with our leader, Tyler Merritt, because Tyler Merritt, that is the Sean Bradley, the number 77, right behind him, who's starting to put some pressure. He's starting to have a run as they try to work their way through this lap traffic. That is the 714 up on the high line. That is Swiss Helm. He is down 15 laps. Make it 16 laps now as the leader goes by. But look at that, Sean Bradley doing very well to try to pick this through and keep up with him. Sean Bradley trying to find the long run on Tyler Merritt if he can.
And it's for Bradley, you kind of have to make a choice of what kind of stint you really want to run, because you want to obviously stay in touch, especially with Merritt and with how Merritt's been running. But you don't want to, if you're pushing too hard and pushing too much, you're going to really overcook the tire, and you don't want to overcook your tires quite yet. They do have a little bit more time to go. Obviously, we did pit at lap 50 for pretty much everyone because we did have the yellow there, but they do believe the car itself and fuel-wise can go an extra 20-ish laps. At this point, I think we're looking at about 16 more before we're really starting to worry about fuel. So they're going to try and nurse those tires, and if you're pushing too hard too early in the stint, by the time you kind of hit that point, you're going to really start falling off. And I mean, we're already seeing it. They're hitting about 2 seconds slower than best times again already. So we'll see kind of how this plays out, and we're not even at 50 full laps, so it'll be interesting.
So, this track is very tire limited, but I was thinking in my head, you really don't want a green flag stop here, do you? Like, if you can avoid it, you do not want to make a green flag stop at all.
No, I mean, if a caution comes out, you're going to be singing to the praises on that one, because green flag stops in any oval are always not only tricky but sketchy. You have a whole bundle of things that can go wrong. You know, getting down, and especially here, getting down onto the apron to get into pit lane can be a little dicey because the banking is so aggressive. You don't really have anywhere that's kind of a nice, drop in. It's very, very high banking and then no banking as soon as you hit the apron. So that can kind of unsettle the car as you're trying to slow down. You're also right in the middle of a corner while you're trying to slow down with other cars coming behind you, because not only are you having to stay super low, but the racing line is staying super low. So you have that to deal with. Then you also have the other difficulty of other cars. If you have a group of you trying to go in, well, that car is a big smack ahead of us here, but you have other cars trying to go in. Well, now you have to slow down to what that car is slowing down to. You can't just go in, hit the line, and be at right speed. You might have to slow down a little bit more for that car, or if there's a couple of cars, then you have to worry about if someone's going to overspeed it coming into the pit lane from behind you. And then you have to find your pit, and that's all. This is all before you've even gotten into pit lane. then you got to make sure you can find your pit box. Don't overshoot your pit box, because if you overshoot it on a yellow, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and you might maybe lose out on a space or have a little more of a duel trying to get out of pit lane. But if you overshoot it on a green flag, well, you might lose a lap. That 2 seconds to back up, get it in reverse again, move it back. Well, now they can't start for a little longer. You still have to get back out of it, and it can lead to a whole bunch of other issues that way. So green flag pit stops, not my favorite thing to have to deal with if you're running ovals.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, like, not a lot of people practice green flag pit stops, to be honest with you. I've thought about that over the years, over the time that I've been in iRacing. Nobody really practices green flag pit stops, so it's a very sort of, roll the dice, play a game of craps, and see what sticks sort of thing. It's not something that a lot of people do well. Now, granted, everybody here at Triple Bypass probably would be just fine, but just knowing that it's not the most versed skill that everyone carries, you don't want to gamble it.
No, you definitely don't. Like I said, if you have the option, you're going to want to avoid it. And the hardest part is most people, when they practice pit stop, even if they are practicing for a green flag pit stop, they're going to do 10 laps and then go in. Very rarely are you going to be running a 50 laps by yourself in Dover and then go, oh yeah, I'm going to pretend I have to come in for a pit stop now. Because why? No, it's not something that you're going to practice super often. So by that point, you've maybe done it once or twice, maybe. And so your breaking point that you have after 10, 15 laps, well, your tires are going to be more cooked than that. So you're going to stop, and the car's not going to stop the same. You're not going to have the grip to do that kind of stop. The brakes haven't been used pretty much at all. Most of the time you're just lifting. You're not braking going around these corners. This isn't, like like Bristol, where you actually do have to tap the brakes. So your brakes are going to be cold, so you're going to try and get in. They're going to not be warm. You've got to worry about locking up. You have to make sure to hit the brake point, and you have to make sure your brake point is the correct brake point. So there can be a whole bunch of sketchy problems getting in before you even start realizing where your pit lane where your pit box is.
Yeah, and that's what's happening here? Hold on now. Oh, and the leader
going into pit lane. See, sketchy getting into pit lane.
Oh, that was a scary moment. We'll see what Mr. Tyler Merritt does, because he's decided for the green flag pit stop gamble, which I was not prepared for, but he said, you know what, I'm going to do it. We're going to make it work. So let's see Mr. Tyler Merritt where he comes out. I know he's going to come out at least one lap down, maybe even more. We'll see what happens. Benson's in the pits. Haynes in the pit as well. Now Al Corey's in the pits.
Bradley looks like he just came in as well.
Yeah, so everybody deciding to gamble on that green flag pit stop here, lap 97 to 150. They decided enough's enough. They don't want to gamble for the caution. They don't want to gamble on fuel. They don't want to try to run it long. They're going to just go ahead and bring it on in. So let's see what happens here. Tyler Merritt already on his way out of the pits before Sean Bradley's even stopped in his pit box.
Yeah, and this pit lane's actually quite long. It's the Canadian in me, 1.5 kilometers, so just under a mile. For the Americans, just under a mile there. So it's a really long pit lane. It's not the quickest of all the pit lanes out there, because you don't have that D-oval kind of style where you're only hitting, the tri-oval aspect of the race is where the pit lane is. Like, this goes quite a ways before you actually, like, you just now are exiting and you're basically on turn 2. You're coming out on turn 2, but you enter partway through turn 4. Like, it's a long trek to go, so can cause definitely some issues if you don't nail it perfectly.
Yeah, you've got to be very, very on top of it. And I do have to say that I do think that Sean Bradley and that was the mellow yellow car of Patrick in the background that just got very loose. I think starting the green flag pit stops has just completely set off a domino effect of chaos that will continue to follow its way through. Hanlon down low on the brakes. He is going to be in the pits. Seymour is just now coming around into turn 3. Seymour is slowing down like he's going in the pits here off of 4. And he is. And then here comes Matt Harmon around. So Will Jester now is the one that's in the lead here on lap 101 of 150. But of course, looks like he is the only car that has not pit yet since that lap 50 pit cycle. So I'm interested to see when he decides to pit. I'm going to assume it's the end of this lap, because the tire delta is a bit obnoxious, because you can see back behind him there, that is a Sean Bradley that is just right on the back of him.
Yeah, I'm very curious what happened to Tyler Merritt. He seems to have disappeared. In terms of, because he was, there's...
Well, Tyler Merritt is showing out in P18.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. See if we cannot get a little bit of a status check on that one, because I'm a bit confused as to what happened there, why Tyler Merritt's disappeared. That's probably not good for Tyler Merritt's race.
No, I got a good feeling. It looks like he actually has disconnected. I think he might have gotten a black flag coming in, because it looked like he had a little bit of trouble getting down to speed, pit lane speed, going in there. So I think he got black flagged, and then just unfortunately that, once black flag here, you're out of it. There's no, you're going to be back very far at that point.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate for him, though. You have to feel for him in that situation. It's not something you want to see. Will Jester still has a pit, though, and Sean Bradley and Al Corey have unlapped themselves on pace alone. Friedler's not that far off from unlapping, so how long does Will Jester stay out? Is he trying to play for a caution and get a cheap little win here?
I think he might be trying to push these just take the little bit of a hit, push these as far as you can go. A lot. I mean, these guys, most of them have pit. No, what's that? So Sean was on 96. That was 46 laps older than their previous tires. At that point, I mean, you might have to debate coming in near the end of the race for them. Whereas Jester, yes, you're going to lose a little bit of time, but if you push those tires just that little bit more, near the end of the race, they might come back, have fresher tires. At this point, he's going to have almost 10 lap newer tires by the end of the race. So it could work in his favor, could not. We'll see.
Yeah, you can see that he is in the pits here. Now it's him through. Al Corey is 4 seconds back on Sean Bradley. 4 seconds back. That is a substantial difference. And the fact that Sean Bradley has lapped everybody up to P8 is huge.
Yeah, he's been having a nice little race to himself. I mean, obviously getting to having Merritt kind of pull you through helps as well. But he's now can just do his own thing, have some fun, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean, why would you not want to have fun too? Look at this, Matt Harmon there with the number 57 in the mix. That's Herzog, who's an additional lap down and is trying to get his laps back. John Minaj Crutchley is there in the mix as well, who is also a lap down. So the 57 and the 48 are battling for position, and then the number 28 there of Harmon is an additional lap down, not in the battle with these two. So things are mixed up quite a bit here as it goes, but Sean Bradley down through JC John Campbell in P7, the only cars on the lead lap as it sits. And honestly, you can see JC John Campbell there, the Krispy Kreme driver, which I am thankful to say, I started a new job this week, and I pass a Krispy Kreme on my way to work every day. So I got Krispy Kreme Monday morning in honor of you, JC. I want you to know that if you watch the broadcast back. I got donuts Monday morning in honor of you to start my new job. So thank you for that, JC.
I think we're getting a Krispy Kreme up here finally again. We had one years ago in where I live, and it did not do well. Oddly enough, but not really all that surprising, as we had our own donut line here originally in Tim Hortons. They unfortunately have gone a little downhill, so Krispy Kreme might do a little better this time. They did not last very long up here.
You know, Krispy Kreme isn't bad. It's just the issue I have is there's so many good mom and pop donut shops around. Especially here, there's like a couple of really good local donut shops that are family owned, family ran, that are delicious. The thing with Krispy Kreme is it's just accessible.
Yes, because they're everywhere. I heard they're going into where is it? They're going to actually be in a restaurant, or not a restaurant. Sorry, like a shopping area. What store is that?
I know in the U.S. I don't know if they do this up in your neck of the woods, but in the U.S. they sell Krispy Kreme donuts at McDonald's.
Sorry, what? They? Oh yeah, no, it is. At McDonald's is what that seems. I mean, fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while, but yeah, they sell Krispy Kreme out of McDonald's here in the U.S. I know James is going to watch this back, and he's probably going to message me as soon as he gets to this point in the broadcast. He's going to go, "I know you're lying. There's no way that's real." But yeah, no, I will.
No,
I will tell you.
I can back it up. I can back it up. I'm looking at it right now. It was announced that they are expanding their partnership into McDonald's that originally launched in 2022. They are going now nationwide. So originally they were on the menu at Louisville, Kentucky locations when they first started growing a little bit, but now they are actually going to be nationwide.
So I'm going to correct you on one thing as a Kentucky native. You said Louisville, which might be correct. It's Louisville.
Louisville? Okay.
Louisville. Technically it is Louisville, but anybody around here is going to say Louisville.
That's fair. I'm from Calgary, And if you go anywhere outside of where we're from, it's Calgary. No, it's Calgary. There's no, you don't pronounce it like that, I swear. So I get it. It's just, James and I had the fun conversation about how you properly pronounce Melbourne in Australia.
Melbourne?
It's Melbourne. That's how it's actually pronounced.
But it's spelled like Melbourne.
Yeah, exactly. And James argued with me on this, and then we brought in our resident Aussie in our actual, in the league, and he was like, no, it's Melbourne. And James was like, no, it's Melbourne. And he's like, so I don't know how to respond to that. So, yeah, no, it was entertaining. So, that's fair. All right. I'll make sure to remember that for future conversations.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm in Kentucky.
Yeah. It messes with people, but, around here, that's what they say. Cameron Kane getting the pass there on Jason Benson, just up the inside, pretty as you please. It doesn't look like Benson really fought that a lot, because I think right now these two understand the pressure they're under from Bradley, who is not that far behind, honestly. Bradley's coming out of 2 just as Benson and Kane are going into 3. Matt Harmon is about to go a lap down. He's last spot on the lead lap there. So I'm curious to see how things work out. Also, update on Tyler Merritt. He put in the chat, Thumbsticks, as he's so affectionately called, said, leave it to me to mess up my own race because of pit exit. So,
exit.
Yeah, I believe that your thoughts on the black flag situation are very accurate. And Matt Harmon just disconnected.
Oh. Well, that's not ideal.
Another one
disconnects today.
Another one bites the dust. I blame iRacing servers. I don't know what else to blame. Actually, hold on. Matt Harmon with the blink of all blinks is now showing up for me still in P6. So, is he there? Is he not? Is he there? I don't have an answer. We'll give it a minute to see where he settles into. But he's on, and then he's off, and then he's on, and then he's off. So, if you see him jumping around the tongue, and now he shows out. So, Matt Harmon is now officially out.
I will point out too, Benson, Mr. Jason Benson there came into this race 6 points back of Keith Hanlon. He is currently just on that 6 positions up right now. So he needs to make a move on Kane to get that 7th position, and he could overtake Jason Benson, depending on bonus points and things like that. But he's right in that area.
Interesting. We'll see how that goes, because I'm curious to see what he does and if he can make something stick there. On the inside there, that is Herzog in the 57. He is no factor for Benson. He's a lap down. He's trying to get his laps back, so you can see he is running there low and just letting him go through, trying to stay out of his way. We're hitting 25 to go now. I tell you what, these guys are just running smooth laps here. Nothing crazy catching my attention at the moment, really.
No, it looks like, everyone's kind of just running nice and smooth. Ooh, that looked a little interesting out of the cars up ahead as Bradley continues his attempt to lap the entire field.
He's
slowly.
He's doing a good job of it. He's lapping up to Benson in P5, and he's really not that far off of Benson when you look at it. So we'll see what happens with that. Looking at the timing tables and the live timing, there is literally nobody within a second of the car ahead. So everybody is, while they're mixed in with lap traffic and different stuff, they're all running their own race at this point. It's everybody just running laps. We'll see when some action picks up.
Ooh, that got a little close to the wall. Give it a nice little shave. Scrape a little paint off the side of that car there. Out of, I believe that's Jason. Yeah, it was Jason Benson. A lot of cars doing that. A lot of cars exploring the wall, seeing how that Saferco barrier is feeling.
Hey, it probably doesn't feel very good, but the guys are just doing what they can here and trying to keep things moving. We're checking out Mr. Grant Parker. We haven't talked about him a lot. He's down in P15. He's 3 laps down. Now he's in 14 because that was Henry Jaden Henry, who was just off the track there, no real trigger for anything. It looks like through there on the Klondike bar. We'll see if he's going in the pits. Get a quick replay here of what happened to him because I'm actually curious. So he broke traction, and again, the timing of these triggers have been very off today. So forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to be able to see what happened. So he's inside. Did he just complete?
I think he was trying to come into the pit lane and just unfortunately wasn't able to catch it properly. He checked him, and then he grabbed that looked like that was the 45 of Al Corey that he tagged as well, and looks like, yeah, Corey's dropped down a little bit.
Yeah, so kind of unfortunate there for Al Corey. Jaden Henry's in the pits there. Al Corey drops another position as it goes, and Al Corey, oh, look at that front bumper. It is gone.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's his race done, I'm gonna assume, as it goes.
Actually, if he is currently okay, so we needed Ben Harcum. He is in 21st. We need 10 points. So Al Corey right now sitting in 11th. He's exactly 10 positions up on Ben Harcum right now. And Harcum, we had the power issue earlier, so I'm assuming Al Corey is going to hope he can come in, get some repairs done, and be able to continue, because the driver, although it looks like he's going to get passed by John Campbell right there. Fortunately, I think that might hurt his chances, because right now he is tied, so he is coming back out, though. So now he's lost a couple of positions, so he's going to have a little bit of work to do. But we'll see how that... it's getting a little more spicy going into this final 18 laps than I was expecting when it comes to these after a couple of dropouts.
Yeah, the points battle is always where things get fun. That is the one thing that, some people, the on-track action is great, but the points battle is huge. Who was that in the background? That was who was that, actually?
That was the 80. Was that the 80? Yeah, the 084. That's who it was, I think. Fisher?
Fisher. Ward Fisher, what are you doing, my friend? Because you tapped the wall there real hard. His car is not handling in a good way today. He is having a bad time with it looks like. But he, didn't spin it, so I'll give him credit where it's due. But with 17 to go, you just need to survive at this point.
Yeah, that's the epitome of oval racing, is really just live. If you survive, you've got a good chance. Learned that the hard way in when I did the Daytona 500, and survive. Just survive.
Jaden Henry in the YouTube chat, it looks like, says, that's exactly what happened. My Wi-Fi was blinking crazy. It said I needed to pit for repairs. I never had damage until that. Ben Harkin wants to know if Sean can lap the whole field. Well, my friend, so here's Sean. There's Jason Benson. He's got 15 laps. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that if you look there, there's Benson, and you can see Kane not that far ahead.
Yeah.
So it is possible. He might. Little obnoxious.
It's not something you see happen often in NASCAR all the time.
Well, let's also look at like the last lap times here. So a 25.6 to a 25.8, almost a 25.9 for Benson. So I mean, like, he's on pace to at least lap Benson and only leave the podium on the lead lap. I mean, he's not that far off, honestly.
If he manages to pull this off, that'd be very interesting. And I mean, talk about a victory lap.
Yeah, like, that would be something, I tell you. Not exactly impossible. I mean, I'll give him that. We'll see what happens here. 12 to go, and I mean, he's just running his own race. Right there is Benson. I mean, look at the lap times. I mean, he's still consistently faster, 3 to 4 tenths. So he's doing what he needs to do. We'll just see if they fight it off or not as things go. There's the 084 going to the high side. There's JC John Campbell, Krispy Kreme in the background. And here we go, leader to the inside. It is Mr. Benson to the outside. Benson's not even going to give him a run. I mean, look at that. He goes all the way against the wall in the middle of the corner. There it is. Top 3, the only ones on the lead lap.
And that could end very quickly. Kane seems to be dropping back a little bit, getting a little closer to him. He could possibly reach the top or the third place at least. I don't know if he's going to quite catch Kreidler, but there's a chance he can catch Kane here. 10 laps to go, it's possible.
Yeah, 10 laps to go. I mean, he's got the pace. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. He's got the pace with 10 to go here. We'll see if Kane can defend it there in the croc. He needs to put it in 4-wheel drive mode and get running. He needs to throw that strap to the back, strap in, and run. It's gonna be close. I mean, you can see him right in the back of your screen, so he's not that far off. But also, I think Sean Bradley might just reel it in and relax through. And again, this is your closest battle on track, surprisingly. There's nothing really crazy going on. These guys are just coasting to the season finale.
Yeah, it's he's got to put put the Crocs in sport mode and get her going. Actually, he's closing in pretty quickly here. Bradley might actually catch him.
Yeah, especially now that Kane's in the middle of lap traffic. I mean, he's trying to fight the 55 there down in the bottom of Hamlin, and then he's got the 43 for company. It's possible. 7 to go here, so we'll just see what Sean Bradley can do. Really, all Sean Bradley has to do is just finish the race at this point. He's not got any pressure. There's no championship battles. It's just literally run through. You see the 43 go high there and let through. Last lap with a 25.69 for Bradley, and for Cameron Kane it was a 25.98. So again, that 0.3 delta is continuing through. 25.80 to a 25.94, so a 10th and a half there. And look at that, 3 wide up ahead. Oh, guys, keep it together here right towards the end. What is that's happening with Cameron Kane?
Cameron Kane not happy. Not Cameron Kane. That was Hanlon. Not very happy with him having to go all the way to the apron to go past a couple of lapped cars there. It's definitely not what he was wanting to have to deal with at that point. So I could understand that one. I wouldn't have been very stoked about that, as it did cost him some time.
See, and here's the thing. So you've got Al Corey there that's 2 laps down. You've got Hanlon right there who's 1 lap down. And then you've got right there in the mix, you've got Kane who's in 3rd place with 4 laps to go. So you just have the smorgasbord of cars that are all in different positions, different laps, different setups. And that is what's causing the bit of chaos right now that we just saw. Thankfully, nobody wrecked there, because for a second they were 3 wide and I really thought somebody was going to spin somebody. But thankfully they didn't here as we hit 3 to go.
Yeah, and it looks like Hanlon actually has managed to kind of get himself back inside the 6 positions he needs to stay ahead, because Benson had to get 7 positions higher, or 7 more points than Hanlon, but right now it looks like he's only going to be getting about 5. So Hanlon kind of has to keep this position and keep it clean, so he just kind of want to stay out of the walls as best he can. And then John Campbell, I don't think is going to catch Benson at this point, and Al Corey and Ben Harcum, the other close one, with Al Corey kind of sitting in that P11. I believe Harcum went out in P21, so that's going to come down to bonus, because that should put them as tied going into this final couple laps here.
Yeah, and as we come across here, this is Sean Bradley taking the white flag this time by. So we'll see what happens here. You see Sean Bradley kind of relaxing a bit now. He's taking the pressure off of Hamlin. He's taking the pressure off of Kane. He's just running through. JC John Campbell in the background. I mean, what can you say about Sean Bradley? For a moment, it seemed like Merritt had his number, and then unfortunately an issue with Merritt goes through. Sean Bradley, season finale here of the Xfinity Series at Triple Bypass Thursday nights, and he's going to take the championship, and he wins the final race just as the chef's kiss on top. Friedler, big kudos to him. He'll come across in 2nd place there. And then, of course, Cameron Kane just barely avoiding getting lapped there. And you can see he will come across in P3. But overall, what can you say about the Duff? What can you say, really?
Fantastic drive out of him. And yeah, he looked like he was going to have a little bit more of a duel, but unfortunately Tyler Merritt having an incident near the end and wasn't able to finish that. But a great drive out of Bradley. Not very often you see them lap to P3. But no, fantastic job for him.
Yeah, it is not very often you see lapped all the way up to third place. But green flag pit stops made a big mix of things, and for Sean Bradley, it played out in his favor. And again, whenever, the guy that you're racing that's really running you has an unfortunate disappear, that is what causes it and can give you a little bit of relief. But we'll let we'll let him do his donuts, but he decided to slam the front bumper there. For a man that won the championship, you would think his burnout skills would be a little bit more rehearsed.
Yeah, I think he popped his engine too.
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it, there? So
he's got a lot of smoke coming out of that thing.
Yeah, I want to give the champion his moment here, but I think he just totaled it, really. Let's see. He's going to park it here, so good run from him. And at this point, we'll go ahead and bring you up the finishing order today. And it was Sean Bradley taking first place overall, with John Creedler in second, Cameron Kane in third, Mr. Jason Benson in fourth place, first car lap down, Michael Seymour in fifth, the Naj Crutchley pulling it up into P6, up 15 places on the day. An absolute stellar run. Will Jester, your race sponsor today, in P7, Mark Herzog P8, Keith Hanlon P9, Ward Fisher in P10, and then from there you had Al Corey in P11. Moving on from there, it was indeed JC John Campbell, Krispy Kreme in P12, Grant Parker P13, Tex Nichols in P14, Anthony Speranza in P15, Jaden Henry found 16th place, Matt Harmon with that unfortunate moment in P17, Patrick Swishhelm in P18. Moving on from there, it was Tyler Merritt, Tyler Ruielas, Ben Harcum, and Justin Bentley rounding out your 22 cars. I tell you what, let's go ahead and find our man who finished in first place overall. Let's go ahead and find Mr. Sean Bradley. If he is floating around anywhere, we're going to start off and steal him here. So let's see. Sean Bradley, it is going to be Brad and Kenton in the booth. How you feeling after a win in literally dominating fashion?
Yeah, I don't know if it would have been so dominating if Tyler didn't get that penalty. I might have been able to run him down on the long run since it did go green after that last set of pit stops. But yeah, you put up a good fight, and that was a lot of fun.
Sean, you had the championship won coming into this race. Did you just decide to keep running with it? And did you say, you know what, I want the clean sweep, I want the domination here? What was it that, coming into this race, your goal was?
I said I wasn't going to do any sort of low percentage moves or, big risks or anything like that. But if I could get the win, I was going to go for it.
Well, go for it you did. And I'm going to just ask the question. Have you practiced burnouts, or did you... What was that? What was that? I got to know.
I was going for something new. I just won the race and the championship, so I thought I could do like a cool little slide, but I ended up hitting the wall and blowing my engine instead, and I couldn't do anything else. So, yeah, I need more practice than that, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge you because you won the championship and the race, but man, yeah, let's tighten that one up together. Looking at season 4 as a whole, it's been good. This is my last question for you before the traditional thanks go out. But looking at season 4 as a whole, it's been good to you. You coming back for season 5, I hope?
Yeah, I'm coming back for season 5. Don't know if I'm going to try to do full time again. It was a bit grueling. I did every single race this one, so I might use a couple of the drops next season. But I'll be back.
Good. And Sean, as the champion of season 4 here, the floor is yours, sir. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to say here.
Everybody in this league is awesome, and especially the guys that are running it. You guys are doing an awesome job knocking it out of the park. I really, really appreciate being on board here. another big thank you to my beautiful wife Sarah for letting me run these stupid things every other night, and yeah, that's it. Big shout out to you guys, and oh, you're missing somebody, but you guys did an awesome job all season too.
Yeah, it's Mr. James Parfit that is not here because he's off doing another broadcast, but I will be sure to communicate the thanks along, and I'm sure he's going to watch this broadcast back. So, Sean,
Awesome.
Congrats on the championship, sir. I look forward to seeing you in season 5, and if you'll be on track tomorrow for the GTPs at Daytona, you'll probably see me on track. Do me a favor, don't judge me too hard, okay?
Okay, I'll try not to wreck you either.
I mean, y'all wrecked James as an intro to the league. Let's not wreck me, okay?
All right.
Okay. Appreciate
See
it,
you
Sean.
tomorrow
Have a
then.
good night.
Cheers.
Okay, so I'll take his answer for the burnouts. I'll take that one. Let's go ahead and talk to second place here, Kenton. John Creedler. John Creedler found second place as things ran, and you got to say it was a good run there from him. So, John, talk me through your second place, because at one point you were back near mid-pack.
Well, when you're old and slow, man, you just try to save tires and hopefully last out everybody.
Well, I think you did a pretty good job. I don't think you're old or slow because you managed to pull out second place with an Xbox livery, which I respect. This track seemed to be real rough on tires, and people were losing pace. Like I tend to lose. I don't even know what I lose. Probably my car keys and everything else. So, was it just a matter of tire conservation? What was it that really made it possible for you to find that P2, or was it the green flag stop?
I think a couple things. I think the green flag stop was pretty fast. I didn't look at the numbers to really find that out, but I think a lot of people made mistakes. I just saw some people that were probably, maybe some accidents, spun out, hit the wall, whatever. I just happened to outlast them.
Yeah, and then overall, looking at your season as a whole, I mean, it's been a pretty good little season. Are you looking forward to season 5? What's your plans going into the next season here, John?
Yeah, absolutely. I love racing with these guys. It's always clean, good racing, good sportsmanship, a lot of fun. I'm not as fast as the top guy. Sean Bradley, I think, beat me by 18 seconds today. So, I just try to hang out and do what I can, and I look forward to racing in the next season.
Awesome, and we look forward to seeing you as well. But as is tradition here on the JP Broadcasting Network, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, I'll give you 30 seconds. The floor is yours, sir.
I just want to thank all the admins for running the league. They do a great job, great participation, good clean racing. So really a shout out to all the admins.
Awesome. And John, we appreciate your time, sir. And I look forward to seeing you on track for season 5, okay?
All right. Thanks for all you do.
And thank you. Let's pull third place, then we're going to pull admin, and then I think we'll call this stream a night, Kenton. So, Cameron Kane, third place, sir. Good race for you, up 4 places on the day. What's the livery? Explain the Croc livery to me real quick. And he doesn't want to explain it. Which concerns me a little.
You got me?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
All right.
What is the livery?
It's push to talk here in this one. The livery, the Croc. You ain't crocking, you ain't rocking, baby. Come on.
Okay. I'm not even going to try to fight it. You know what? Did you put the Croc in sport mode?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Nah, see, that was my problem at the beginning. I burned off my tires. I was in 2-wheel. Should have put it in 4. And once I put it in 4, got the pit stop over with. It ended up well. A couple guys crashed out, got lucky there, but no, it was a good race.
Yeah, and kind of, is Dover a track you like? This track seems kind of unique to people. So, is it a track you liked? How much did you practice?
I'm gonna be honest. I only practiced for like the 45 minutes prior, but I've run the Gen 4 here, and that's very, very different and difficult when you're coming out of 4. There's that great big bump, and so I kind of got used to the throttle in the Gen 4, so you could kind of gas it up a little bit more in the Xfinity, but you just had to make sure you wrap the bottom and make that turn straight exit. It was a struggle though.
Yeah, and then Cameron, as is tradition here at JP Broadcasting, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Thank you to Will for sponsoring this. I appreciate it, and all the boys for racing. It's a great time, and you guys for coming out and broadcasting.
Awesome, and thank you, Cameron. Look forward to seeing you next season, hopefully, all right?
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
All right, Kenton, we're going to do one more interview. This isn't traditional. Of course, normally we do the top 3, but listen, when you got the boss man involved and you got people here and it's a season finale, there ain't no sense in talking to the misplaced Canadian other than right now. So, Al Corey, let's talk about season 4 as a whole. Let's talk about Triple Bypass as a whole. What are we thinking coming up next season?
Well, howdy. I hope I gave your viewers something to watch with my throwaway race, running in second. It was a great race, but didn't go my way. Let's see. Season 5 coming up at the end of April. And we're going to stick with the Gen 4s on Sunday nights. We're switching up the late model for the new SRX car, and that series will kick off in Season 5. So that's on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we've got our King of the Hill, which is a mishmash, grab bag, surprise to everybody what happens road racing. And then on Thursdays, we're going to stick with our Xfinity series, which you just got to see some of. And Fridays, after a super successful debut season, our multi-class road racing series will pick up in Season 5. So that is, if by counting right, I think that's 6 nights of racing now.
Yeah, so you're adding an extra night of racing, kind of. So I've been around for Triple Bypass for a few months now, and it seems like in the past few months, things have exploded. Things have gotten crazy, and Triple Bypass has been around how long now?
We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary in April.
What have you all done? What is it about Triple Bypass? Because I've been watching leagues, different leagues that I commentate and that I work with, and I know me and James, have worked with, and I've worked with in different capacities that have went up and down and around. And, some of them aren't finishing seasons or aren't continuing a season, but that's not the issue here at Triple Bypass. The issue is you all have so many races and so many racers. What is it that, contributes to the success of Triple Bypass?
That's a good question. We're not the largest league by far. You see our fields are typically 15 to 20 cars on a typical race. I don't know how many we had tonight, but we're not the largest league. But what we find is when folks come in, they find a super friendly environment with people who are having fun, respectful to each other on the track. Nobody gets mad for long, and we don't have issues that carry over either in the race or throughout the week. It just sort of, whatever incident happens goes out the window. And I'll just say it has an awful lot to do with the great group of friends that I have that started the league a year ago. And I think that just radiates into the league. I think everybody sees what kind of folks they are. And, if you're not the kind of person that enjoys friendly competition, then this is not the place for you. And they don't stick around long. So just super fortunate to have all of those great guys who helped start the league and continue to run it week after week.
I think my favorite thing personally in my experience with this league is just how welcoming it is and just how fun it is to watch. Like I was mentioning on the broadcast earlier, like I'm going to race tomorrow night in, the road exhibition race, if I can talk there, that's going on, tomorrow night at Daytona. And, I made a comment earlier to Sean Bradley, was like, hey, don't wreck me like you did James. So, this is such a unique and welcoming group. It's really awesome to see all the success. I'm excited to see things going on. Obviously, I can't talk broadcasting specifics because I am not James Parfit, so I can't mention, when we'll see you around. But I'd like to think that, on behalf of James, we're going to continue the partnership into next season and beyond. Obviously, I will not confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I spoke with James a little bit as we reached the end of our season, and we're already talking about next season. Our only stipulation was that you're not allowed to broadcast any of our races. I hope that's okay.
Oh, no, that's fine. this is the shoe-in feeling. James is typically the one behind the cameras. I know the me behind the cameras is not the thing.
I'm just kidding you. No, you did a great job on the races this season. You all did. And you've been, JP Broadcasting has been with us pretty much since the first week of our first season. So we're sticking with you guys for the long haul. We love all you guys. You do such a great job for us. And if anybody's listening on the JP Network tonight, JP Broadcasting Network tonight, feel free to look us up and join us for some racing. You can find us at triplebypassracing.com. Thanks, boys.
And thank you. I'm going to let you go and get your night done. We're going to wrap this broadcast up here. And I want to say just thank you. Thank everyone who's put together such an amazing league here and kept this season moving. And I can't wait to be back for next season.
Yep, we'll see you then, and thanks a lot.
Awesome. See ya, Al. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Well, Kenton, been a good race. It's a good season finale, I must say. You got any final thoughts for me before we sign this thing off for the night?
The biggest final thought is Al actually did manage to jump Ben Harcum by a single point. So he did get second place.
Wow.
A single point. So it was, and then Keith Hanlon was able to hold off Jason Benson by 2 points. So it came right down to the wire in that race for both second and fourth.
What a way to finish off a season. What a way to run it. Yeah, that's amazing is what that is.
For sure. Absolutely fantastic. But no, amazing racing, amazing league, lots of fun. Always a good group of guys, and glad that we're hanging around with them for many more to come.
Yeah, and I look forward to bringing it through. Kenton, thank you for jumping in tonight. I know typically it's me and James, and of course James is off doing, something less important than I'm kidding.
Obviously.
He's doing another broadcast, so I appreciate you jumping in with us here tonight. This is the league that I hold near and dear to me personally. So I'm really excited to come in for next season and seasons beyond and keep things moving. But it's 10:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I think this is where I'm going to call things here. Kenton, again, thank you. On behalf of Kenton, my name is Brad, and on the season finale here of Triple Bypass Racing, we've taken you on the JP Broadcasting Network from start to finish. Tune in for season 5 here of Triple Bypass, where we will take you from start to finish again. Good night.